Well, good morning and welcome. This is our morning and movement and meditation, but this is Thursday, so we are going to be practicing with a chair. So this is our first time inviting a chair into this practice. So just a couple of pointers, key tips before we get started. If you don't have a chair, that's okay. You can still do this class. And I'll note that today we're going to learn some modifications with the chair. You could use a chair every day if you wanted to, once you kind of learn how you would use it. So kind of use today as an instructional lesson that you can take with you for any class in the future. If you are going to use a chair, I recommend getting just like a folding chair like this. You can get them anywhere. I think I got this one at Costco for a couple bucks. You can get them at Target. You can get this individual folding chair very easily. But I just want to make sure that you get one that does not have wheels. So if you have an office chair, those are great for a lot of the exercises that we're doing. But there are some times when if you're using the chair for balance, you want to make sure it doesn't have wheels. So just be mindful of if your chair does have wheels to be very careful because it can slip out from under you. All right, that was my big safety tip. So we are going to start on the chair today. We're going to kind of modify some of our morning warm-ups with the chair. Again, if you don't have a chair, that's okay. You don't need a chair. You can do all of this standing. And then you'll kind of learn how to incorporate the chair in the future whenever you have one. Or if you like to use these when you have your chair in the future, and even if it's not a chair class, you can practice with the chair anytime. All right, I'll stop rambling. Come to a comfortable seat, still keeping your feet kind of hip width distance apart. Your feet are flat on the mat. I like to kind of scoot forward in my chair for these warm-ups just so I feel a little bit more alert and prepared. We're still going to start with our neck rotation. So pull your chin down toward your chest. Pause to feel a nice stretch along the back of the neck. And then gently rock from side to side. Same warm-ups that we do standing. You could even do this on the ground or sitting on your bed. And even on days that we're not doing yoga together, feel free to incorporate some of these warm-up exercises into your morning routine right when you wake up, even if you're not coming to yoga. Come back to center and then turn your gaze over your right shoulder. And then turn to the other side. Beautiful. Working down into the shoulders, reach them up, back and down, forward, up, back and down. Couple more shoulder rotations in that direction. And then we'll reverse the direction. Just trying to warm up our shoulders. You can even get the elbows into it if that feels good. Beautiful. And then we'll add in our arms. So again, just like yesterday, if you prefer to keep those arm circles smaller, that's okay. But I invite you to see how your range of motion feels in the shoulders, going as big as you can. Moving nice and slow. I shared with you yesterday that my shoulders are just an area that I am really trying to get more flexible. I feel like they used to be a lot more flexible and switch directions, and lately they're just so tight. So I'm going to keep working on opening up my shoulders every day. Beautiful. Come back down. Next, we're going to take our hands, we're going to bring them to the back of our low back and pull the fists down, rolling the shoulders down your back. This is that flexibility I was telling you about. I'm really trying to get better in this area. Pulling the fists down, rolling the shoulders down your back, lifting the chin a little bit. All right, and then release. Ooh, how does that feel? All right, coming back to our seated position, gentle hip or waist twists. So in the chair, you can sit forward and kind of do this how we normally do it when we're standing. Or since you have the chair, you can pause on one side using the chair for leverage to help you get a deeper twist. One of those benefits of having the chair, using it in this way. Okay, great. All right, come back to center. Now these knees and kicks, they feel a little different in a chair. I'm going to tell you, they actually seem a little harder. So two options. You can do our knee and kick raises with while seated, or if it's more comfortable for you, you can just use the chair as an aid to help you balance. But I'm gonna actually try it seated because it's a little more challenging, but I'm up for the challenge. So I'm gonna scoot to the front of my chair and just start with a knee. It's like harder, I don't have as much room. And then I'm gonna move up to full kicks. And these are really just more like leg lifts than kicks, and you're really activating that whole top part of your leg to do this. Really building those muscles. All right, let's switch sides. Starting with the knee. Going up as high as we can, really kind of bringing in that low belly into the exercise as we lift the knee. And then extend the leg. Oof. This is a chair workout if I've ever had one. Oh, beautiful. Alrighty, enough of that. Okay, coming back to our hip circles. Again, feel free to stand if that makes this a little bit easier. I'm going to come to the front of my chair, open up my hip like a book, and then close it. Open it, close it. You might find you get a little bit less range of motion while you're seated. So that's okay, or you can try standing up if you prefer. All right, switching sides. And keep in mind, these are things you can do all day long in a chair. So if you have a couple minutes, feel free to invite in some leg lifts, some hip openers while you're working or taking a break. Okay, come back to center. We'll warm up our ankles for a moment while we're seated here. One ankle at a time, both directions, and switch. Those always feel nice. Did we do our wrists? Let's invite our wrists in too while we're doing this. Warming up the wrists if you haven't done so yet. We're not using them too much today, but it's always a good idea to warm them up. And then with your feet flat on the mat, we're going to do our little toe grippy exercise. So feet flat, lift up your toes off the mat, spread them out as much as you can, lower them back down nice and wide, and then squeeze them in to your foot. All right, we'll do that one more time. Lift up the toes, spread them as wide as you can. Lower them down nice and wide, and then squeeze them in. One more time, last time. Open, spread, lower nice and wide as you can, and then squeeze them in. Beautiful. All right, there is our head to toe warm up. Great job. Okay, so again, we are going to practice in the chair, but these are all moves that you can do while standing. So I'm going to demonstrate doing a lot of these while seated, but there's a lot of different ways that you can customize your practice using a chair. And as we move through this class week after week, we're going to offer all kinds of different ways that we can utilize our chair. So we're going to start by doing sort of a sun salutation in our chair. So I like to kind of come to the top, to the front of my chair here, and I like to keep my knees nice and wide. Kind of like I'm standing in a mountain pose, but very active seated position. Inhale, reach your arms to the sky. Exhale, gentle back bend. Lift the chest, cactus the arms, pull the elbows down. Inhale, rise. Exhale, forward fold. Now, if it feels good, you can have your knees together. I really like to have my knees open wide and fold down in between my knees for this while I'm seated in the chair. Inhale, halfway lift. So coming up, so your elbows are still on your knees, giving your spine a nice long extension. And exhale, fold. Okay, relax your head and neck for a moment here. Swing from side to side. Slowly roll yourself all the way up to standing or standing in your seat. Reaching your hands all the way to the sky, and hands come down to heart center. Didn't even share with you yet our affirmation today. Our affirmation, we'll keep moving with the arms. Inhale, rise. My past is part of the richness and fullness of life. Cactus the arms. Inhale, rise. Exhale, hands to heart center. My past is part of the richness and fullness of life. Inhale, rise. Exhale, forward fold. My past is part of the richness and fullness of life. How often do we think about our past and think, oh, thank goodness I'm not there anymore? I know I sure have. Sometimes we reminisce. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. One more half sun salutation. Inhale, rolling yourself up. Arms come to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center. But what if we look back on our past with gratitude and think that is everything that has happened to me has led me to become the person that I am today? Inhale, rise. Exhale, gentle back bend. Oh, these feel nice seated, don't they? Inhale, rise. Exhale, fold. Now, if you've been trying it knees together or knees closed, I invite you to take a moment here to do the opposite. So I'm going to walk my feet together and just feel the fold with my knees together. And obviously I'm not going to go quite as deep, and that's okay, but I feel more support in the spine, and that feels nice. Beautiful. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Hands to heart center. Beautiful. All right, so we're going to do a couple of different poses in our chair. Let's start with a lunge. So in this position, I'm going to start on my right side. So sort of like a standing lunge with your right knee forward. So I'm going to come so that my right butt cheek is still on the chair, but my left butt cheek is kind of hanging off the front. I'm going to keep it so the chair is directly underneath my thigh. So my right knee is still at about a 45 degree or 90 degree angle rather, and my thigh is nice and supported. And then I can either use the chair or not, but I'm going to step my left foot back all the way into this high lunge position. So my left thigh is very supported. My my right thigh is very supported. My left leg is fully extended as far back as it feels comfortable. Keeping that heel lifted, noticing there's still a bend in the knee, that's okay. But feel the sensation. See how it feels in the front of your left hip flexor. If you want to add the arms in, inhale, rise. And just notice how this might be different than your standing lunge. In your standing lunge, you might not get quite as low because it's a little bit more work on your right leg and your right knee. So in this position, you're getting a lot of stretching in that left front hip flexor. Beautiful. Now, what if we converted this into a warrior two? So if we keep our front knee the way it is, we kind of slide our back heel down onto the mat. So we're still supported on our right thigh, and our left foot is flat on the mat like it is in our warrior two. And now our shoulders and our torso are facing that same angle that we usually have in our standing warrior two. Now you might feel like you're just sitting. Maybe you feel like you're not working very hard in this pose, and that's okay. Sometimes that's what we need, is a little bit of aid from the chair. But you can make this more active by pressing down into both feet. Yes, you still have the chair to support you, but you can turn on the legs by just pressing down into the feet, activating those muscles. Inhale, reverse warrior. So legs stay exactly how they are, reaching the right arm up to the sky. Still feeling a nice stretch in that front right side of your torso. Inhale, back to warrior two. And let's try our extended side angle. Reaching forward, placing that right arm on the thigh. Left arm reaches to the sky. So notice how it feels when you don't have to worry about supporting your legs. You just get to focus on this nice stretch between the underarm and the hip. Beautiful. Inhale, let's come back to warrior two. And then let's come back to center. So let's bring that left knee forward and let's come back to a seated position. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold, seated. I like to keep my legs nice and wide for this. Relaxing through the low back. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. You're still getting a nice little stretch in the hips. Inhale, rise. Beautiful. And let's try warrior two on the other side. So in this situation, well, we'll start with our high lunge still. So we're going to keep our left thigh supported by the chair. So scooting all the way forward. So our right butt cheek is fully off the chair. And then we're going to extend our right heel behind us. So still moving nice and slow, feeling this stretch. How does this feel? If this is too intense, just bend that back knee a little bit more. You don't have to go to the full depth just because you're on the chair. Feel free to bend that right knee as much as you need to. But to deepen the stretch, you'll extend the right heel behind you, feeling a nice stretch in that front right hip flexor. Option to add the arms. Holding here. Beautiful. And let's transition into our warrior two. So spinning that back heel down, changing the angle of our torso toward our front hip, and then opening the arms out to the side. Beautiful. Inhale, reverse warrior. Feeling our nice stretch along the front side body. Back to warrior two. And extended side angle. Reaching forward. Left elbow on the knee. Right arm reaches to the sky. Think about pressing down into the pinky toe side of your right foot to really lengthen this line between your underarm and the side of your right foot. Come all the way back up to warrior two. And let's scooch into that middle for our wide forward fold again. Wide legs. Inhale, rise. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Beautiful. Now those are some great options while you're seated. How else can we use the chair? Well, let's go ahead and move the chair to the top of our mat. I want to show you just a couple of stretches that we can do. Now this can be done with a chair or even with the wall or the bed or anything to hold on to in front of you. We'll kind of do a standing salutation with the chair in a different way. So inhale, rise. Exhale, fold, but leave your hands on the back of the chair. And then walk your feet back so that you can use the chair as an aid to help lengthen you forward and get a little bit of a deeper stretch into the shoulders. So think about your hips being at about a 90-degree angle. You can keep a nice bend in the knees to make this a little bit more forgiving, a little bit more accessible. Maybe push your hips behind you. So again, we're using the chair here as an aid to help open up the back and the shoulders, giving us some sort of resistance and balance. Beautiful. Inhale, look up, slowly walk your walk your feet forward. Now, another thing we can use the chair for is sort of like in substitution for the ground for a cat-cow series. So you can use the back of the chair or the front of the chair, whichever you find to be more comfortable. But think about being in a tabletop position on the chair. So if we have this, flat back, what can we do with this? Well, let's try our cat-cow on the chair. Inhale, cow pose, keeping a bend in the knees to help lift the hips and the low back. Looking up, rolling the shoulders back. Exhale, cat pose, round the spine, tuck your chin. So if you have, wrist irritations sometimes, or you don't like to put too much pressure on the wrists, inhale, cow pose. This can be a great substitute so you still get those benefits of cat and cow without putting pressure on the wrist or the knees. Exhale, cat. One more round here. Inhale, cow. And exhale, cat. All right, let's come back to our standing position. Beautiful. There's no graceful way to get into it, but we are going to transition. I'm having a hard time speaking today, I apologize. We are going to transition into our seated meditation. So a couple options for you here. If you have your chair and you'd like to try it on the chair, go for it. That's why we have it. If you prefer to be seated on the ground, cross-legged, then feel free to find that position as well. So take a moment here, find your preferred seated position for our meditation. And I always say it, right? Find the position that feels good for you. Chairs are always optional. So if you really like this position, feel free to use it on all of our meditations. Okay, when you're ready, sit tall, sit proud. Roll your shoulders down your back. Let your arms hang heavy at your side. And you can still keep your palms up or down, or even rest them on the arms of the chair if your chair happens to have arms. And if it feels okay, close your eyes and begin to focus on the breath. Inhale through the nose. And exhale, side out. through the nose, inviting in a little more air. Feeling the lungs expand. Exhale, sigh it out. Inhale through the nose, inviting in as much air as you can into your lungs. Max capacity. Pause when you reach the top. And forcibly exhale everything out. Feeling the shoulders relax, falling away from the ears. And allow your breath to return to its natural pace. Not forcing any duration or capacity. Just let it be free. And if you choose to reflect on our affirmation today, think about how your past has been part of the richness and fullness of your life. Maybe reflect on how some of the struggles and challenges that you have faced have built resilience and strength inside of you. Perhaps reflect on some of the most joyous memories that allow you to feel like your life has purpose and meaning. And the purpose and meaning is to feel joy, is to enjoy love, is to enjoy the positive impact that you have had on the lives of everyone around you and the ones that you love and the ones who love you most. Whether it's the most challenging obstacles that we have faced or the most amazing, gracious, fulfilling memories, all of these experiences have contributed to the richness and fullness of your life so far. And all of the obstacles and challenges and joyous memories still to come, you are more prepared for those because of the life you've lived so far. And there is so much more to experience and be grateful for. I'll give you a few moments here to reflect in silence, and then I'll guide you out so we can close together. begin to bring awareness back to your body and your breath. I'm so sorry. Excuse me. Take a larger inhale through the nose. Exhale, sigh it out. On your next inhale, slowly reach your arms up over your head. Expanding the torso, bring your palms together and slowly lower your thumbs down into your chest. Take a deep inhale through the nose. May we look inward for validation and acceptance. Inhale, draw your thumbs to your lips. May we speak words of truth, kindness, and encouragement. Inhale, draw your thumbs to your third eye center. May we be the change we wish to see in this world. Take a deep inhale to fill yourself with love and light. And exhale to send it to those who need it. Namaste.